Hello, this is a video tutorial for the rentals assignment following the Bistro project in the Against the Clock textbook for Dreamweaver 2020. If you've already gone through the Bistro assignment, you should have downloaded the files for Bistro. You can also download the rentals files from Against the Clock. You would do the same thing that you did for the Bistro assignment. You can just double click or unzip the folder so that you have the rentals folder, and that will give you all the graphic files and HTML files and style sheet that you will need for the assignment. I've gone ahead and placed that folder into my WIP folder on my desktop. So wherever you've stored your work in progress for the class, you can place that rentals folder in that class folder. You won't need to upload this folder onto the web server, but you will just submit the zipped file. So here's my rentals folder with all the files that I need for this assignment. Then I can go ahead and open up Dreamweaver. And I already have it open up, but let me show you how you can open it. If you go to Manage Sites in the Files panel, I could create a new site. So I have it created here already, but I could delete that, and I'm just going to create a new site so you can see how I do that. So I'm going to name it Rentals, and I want to choose my local site folder. So remember, I placed that folder into my WIP folder on my desktop, so I'm going to select that folder in WIP called Rentals and choose that as my root folder. Then I can save that and click Done, and then all those files in that folder will show up here in my Files panel. I'm going to start by opening up the index page. This is the home page for this rental site. All I'm doing in this assignment is linking my navigation menu, my footer, the email address, any information that I want hyperlinked, just like you did in the Bistro assignment. So what we're going to do is create either relative links or absolute links. Everything in the navigation menu would be relative links, so I'm just linking to other pages in my site. And then the absolute links would be like to the Against the Clock website, which is another site. So if I want to link the home page, for example, I can use some different techniques to do that. I want to open up my Properties pane, just going to Window Properties, so I can open that up. And then if I select the home text in the list, so if you look down here, here's my navigation. I have the body tags, so everything that's visible on my browsers in the body tags. Then I have a div container within the body tags. I have a header, and then I have another div container that's called navbar, and within that container is an unordered list with some listed items, and these listed items have not been hyperlinked yet. So notice I'm in the source code, not the style sheet, but I'm in the source code, and that's where I want to look at the code for this page. I'm going to switch to Design View, and I'm going to link my home page. So I'm going to select this text, click on the point to icon, and link to the index page, and now you can see in my source code that ahref code has now been added to the listed items, so this has now become a relative link. I can do the same thing for amenities. I can point to the amenities.html page, and that is now added as a hyperlink. I can do the same thing with the properties. And this time I can use a different method. If I want to select the Browse for File folder icon, I can click on that and then select the Properties HTML page. So this is the main Properties page. And then I can do the same thing with the contact. And you can see the code is being added automatically to the source code. You want to do the same thing now to all the properties pages, the email, and the website Against the Clock. Before you do that, if you see the contact text dropping down to the next line, there is an easy way to fix that. if you go to the CSS Designer, so I'm switching from Files panel to CSS Designer, what I want to do is to select this selector, and you'll learn later on what a selector is and how to create a selector, but just for now you don't have to create it, we just need to know how to select it to change a property. So if I select this contact text, I can select navbar A or navbar unordered list list item here. So I'm actually going to go to the navbar A and change that to normal. So when I'm in the navigation menu, I can select the entire nav bar here. So you can see this nav bar is a ID selector called nav bar. And then I can select just the text inside that nav bar, which is the A tag. So if I select the nav bar A, then I can go to Properties, and I can see this font weight is set to normal, and it is all fitting. If your font weight is set to bold, what happens is that contact text drops down to the next line because the text is not all fitting in that navigation menu container. So to fix that, you can just change the font weight from bold to normal, and then it should all fit on that line. Make sure you're in live view when you're doing that, because then that will show you what it would look like in the browser. You wouldn't see that in design view. So if you're in live view, check to make sure that all your text is fitting in that navigation menu. And if it's not, check to see that that navbar A selector is set to the font weight of normal. If it's not, you can just change it to the normal weight. So some other things that you'll want to do is, I'm going to switch back to design view, and I want to link all of my properties. So going back to the Files panel, if I double click on Properties 1, this is the Stratton Villas HTML web page. So going back to the index page, I want to now link the Stratton Villas text to the Properties 1 page. And now you can see the code now has been added in the code view. So I would want to do the same thing for all the other properties. So for Oceanside, that's property 2, HTML.html. So I'm going to link that to properties2.html. Then do the same thing for Williams Square and Market. Then I want to create a hyperlink to the website for Against the Clock. So I would have to type that in here. And if you want to, you can even just find it on your browser. Just typed in againsttheclock.com, and then I can just copy and paste the URL address from the top of the browser. So I'm going to go to copy, and then I'm just going to paste that into the link. And you can select a target if you want it to open up as a new page. You can select new, or you can have it open up within itself, or you can just leave it at the default. So now I have linked my absolute link to the Against the Clock website. I also want to link the email address. So I'm going to select the email address, info@romanoplace.atc, and in the link I'm going to type in mail to : and then I'm just going to copy and paste that email address right after that. So no space, make sure you don't have any spaces, and it's just linked to mail to : info@romanoplace.atc. So make sure that you go through and link every property, and then you have to link the navigation menu and the properties on every single page. So for example, if I go to the Properties 1 page, I need to link my navigation menu here, and I need to link my properties menu here on this side. So I can link the Ocean side, which was Properties 2, on the Properties 1 page. Using the same techniques, I'm going to link this to Properties 2 and link the Stratton Villas text to Properties 1 page. So go through and do that for all of the properties. Then I would want to go through and link the email address and the against the clock address again and the navigation menu. One thing you could do is you could just copy the code from one page to another. So if I go to the index page, since I've already linked the navigation menu, so I want to copy the unordered list from my navigation bar on the index page into the unordered list item in the navigation bar on my Properties 1 page. So once I've done that, then all of these items are now linked on the Properties 1 page. And I can look at the live view. So these are all now hyperlinked. And then I need to finish linking my other properties, the email address, and then the against the clock address. And I can use the same methods that I did on the index page. I could also copy and paste the code onto this page. And I would need to do that for every single web page on this site. So for every single properties page, also the amenities page. So we've got the amenities page, a contact page, the index page, then the main properties page, and 4 additional properties pages. So that is quite a lot of linking. So make sure that you open up every web page and link the navigation menu, the properties, the email, and the website on every single page, so that when you preview it in the browser, everything will be linked and there won't be any broken. When you're done, you want to save all of your site pages, and then you can export it, so just like you did with the bistro site. So after you save it, you can export it as an STE site file. So this just saves your settings. It does not save the entire site, but then you can save these settings in your rentals folder. Since I already have one here, I'm not going to do it again, but you can just click save and it'll save that STE site file into your rentals folder. And then once you do that, you can click delete the site, but you can always bring it back up by going to import site, then going to select that rental.ste site file that you just saved. It will open it back up just as you have saved the settings in your folder. So to turn it in, I'm going to go to my desktop and look for the folder in my WIP folder. So here's my rentals folder. Then I would just need to compress it. So I can select this year, or I can hit Control right click and just select compress rentals. And then I can submit this entire zip file onto As You Learn. So make sure you don't just submit the STE file. Then I won't be able to view your site. That's just saving your settings so you can go to manage sites and open it up in Dreamweaver. And I can do that as well. But if I just have the STE site, I won't be able to view your site without all your graphic files and all your HTML files and style sheet. So make sure you submit that entire rentals folder in a zip format, just like you did with the bistro site. And that's it for the rentals project.